friends. Today I'd like to talk about math and estimation. I like to have estimation at the ready because sometimes I don't have time to count all the collections or items. Sometimes I like to just practice seeing how close I can get because there might be a day where I just need to look at a group and quickly think, do I have enough or do I not have enough? And then I can make my decision to add more or take away depending on how good I've gotten at estimation. All right, so let's get started. You can have a great time with estimation at home. Well, what do you need to have an estimation happening in your home? One of the things you need is you need some container to actually collect and to organize your estimation collection. So I've organized some empty, clean containers. Now, the most important thing about an estimation container is that it's clear. You want to be able to look into it to see and give a best guess without counting how many items might be inside. So I have 2 glass containers that I've cleaned. I also have a plastic container. And I've got a few more jars that I've emptied out. So you want to make sure that you start with a clean estimation jar, and it needs to be clear, one that you can see through. And if you need help getting any of those organized, you can ask parents to help you. I like to use old pickle jars because they're glass and they're clear and they're a really good size. So you could ask a grown-up to help you when you've got an empty jar coming out of the refrigerator. Don't put it in the recycle bin. Instead, clean it and use it for estimation. Alrighty, what kinds of things can you put in your estimation jar? There's a whole lot of things that are in your house right now that you can use, and they are great for estimation. So I've collected a few just to share with you. One of my favorite things to estimate with, coins. I have a big bag of coins here. So I've taken out the pennies and I put them in my bin. And this is one of my estimation collections. Another thing I like to use are those beads that you might use at home for craft or to make different bracelets or necklaces. These are fantastic for estimation. Another thing, if it's okay with your parents, is I have some pre-wrapped hard candies. Those are also great for an estimation jar. I've got some paper clips here. I've got big clips that I use in my office. Those are very good for estimation. And I've also got some wooden blocks that, believe it or not, will fit right inside a jar if I wanted to use them. Other ideas that you might collect in your home, you might have cotton balls, toothpicks, Q-tips, or paper clips. All of those items are fantastic for estimation. So once you've decided a collection, I've got a collection here with dominoes. And this is what I'm estimating this week, dominoes. And I've made it clear to everyone in my family, it says estimation jar. And that means this is the jar that they're looking in to see if they can guess how many dominoes are actually in the jar this week. One way I like to collect their guesses is by having a piece of paper with some Post-it notes on it. And this says, estimate, make your best guess. That way my family knows that they're going to use one of those Post-it notes to make their guess of how many are in the estimation jar for this week. When all of the guesses have been made, I like to sort them all out and see if I can put them in order from the smallest guess to the highest guess. And I do that before I even count how many are in there. So for instance, this week, I don't know how many are in here. I don't even have the answer. So once all the guesses are done, I'll organize them from the smallest number all the way up to the highest number. And then I'll count how many are in the jar. When I'm counting the jar, I like to organize them into groups of 10 because it makes it easier for me. So as I take them out of the jar, I'm going to put them into groups of 10. That way, when I go to count them, I can count by, you guessed it, tens. So those are my steps for making my estimation jar. One of the words I wanted to teach you, which is a really fun word, is oftentimes the estimates or the guesses that people have made, the numbers are close together in range. But then there are certain ones that end up being very far away because they're super low, or really high on the other end and they're too high. Those numbers that aren't part of the main group are called outliers. I like that name. So the numbers that don't fall within that range, they're the outliers. You can be in charge of your estimation jar this week, and maybe next week, another family member might be in charge of it. I know right now, there are not a lot of people in our homes. So in my house, people are making 3 guesses each to see if they can get close. And it's funny because they'll make one guess and then a day or two later, they'll look and they'll make another guess. And it seems like when they make their second or third guesses, they get even closer. Alrighty, so I'm interested to find out what kinds of items you use at home for your estimation jar. And if you find that your family is getting better at estimation, the more you do it. Okay, you've got your job for the day. Go have fun, get out there and estimate. And I will talk with you again soon. Goodbye for now.